I welcome you all, basketball degenerates, to another episode of the Pass First, Shoot Later podcast brought to you by the OC Basketball League. I'm your host, Zico Pepic, here with my co-hosts, Michael Van Wyck and Omar Almadine.
What's up?
And we got a very special guest with us here today, former OCBL player, AJ Hollis. AJ, welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
AJ, why don't you give the fans a little bit background about you in terms of basketball and your experience?
So I've played about 6 years professionally. Got out of it a little early because my kids are a little older. So that was pretty cool, man, because
Hold on, before you go there, he said where you played one of the top high schools in California.
I did.
Don't miss that part, though.
I
mean, that speaks a lot to how you ended up where you're at.
went to Mayfair. Mayfair High School. A lot of people kind of know that they've had some NBA players come out of them, some top level guys, Josh Childress.
Did you play with Josh?
Yeah. So Josh was a senior. Josh was a senior.
Omar stands himself up for jokes.
When I was a freshman. So playing on the same team. He kind of paved the way for everybody. Kind of let us know, how things are done. So he was the first one we saw kind of do it the right way. And then we kind of just fell in love.
So Josh was the first NBA player to come out of Mayfair.
To my knowledge, yeah. To my knowledge.
And then the most recent is
Josh Christopher.
if you were Josh Hollis, you probably went to the NBA.
That was in the mix. In the middle.
I know Omar was planning that one. He did his homework and planned that one.
You know what? One part, he did talk to you guys. AJ did have his crack at the NBA. He did play in the G League. Or back then it was called
The D League. The D League. Well,
So, wonder why they changed the name.
I don't know. I mean,
they knew Josh Giddey was coming.
That's wild.
oh man.
I still say D League to this day, though. It's hard to say G League.
If you're like an older generation guy, you refer to it as the D League.
Well, it's just like the state. It's just like the Staples Center. I can't say crypto.
That's what I said.
I was going to say that.
To me, it's got to be the Staples Center.
But we all know.
Into it though.
We all know when that league first started, it was the NBA Development League, and that's where it was short, to the D League.
Right.
When they changed over to the G League, if my understanding is correct, is part of it had to do with Gatorade, because Gatorade had an involvement. That's where the G comes from.
I think they're one of the main sponsors now.
It's Gatorade, and then the G League has recently, in recent years, with the type of contracts that they offer, and the two-way contracts and whatnot, and the salaries have changed from a development league to just being, a secondary league to the NBA. So I think if you notice, they dropped the word development league.
Yeah, it's more
Even though it's more of a minor league for the NBA.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys on NBA rosters.
How many teams are in the G League?
I think is it supposed to line up the NBA?
I don't think so. I think
every two teams one.
I think every two has one team.
That's not true either. I think some teams share, affiliations with that. But like the Lakers, it's the South Bay Lakers. Windy City Bulls is Chicago.
So whatever teams have the money,
Yeah.
pay for it. Because I know teams share. I know it's not 30 to 30.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming. I think now every team is looking towards having their own team.
So there's 31 teams.
So there's an extra team.
There's 31 G League games.
There's 31 G League teams.
Yeah, because I could have sworn that they'd already started the process of every team having their own.
Yeah, that's if those the one team that doesn't have an NBA team.
Which won't be surprised if they're one of the teams that gets one. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to go to 32 teams pretty soon.
I think they actually had an issue where they had affiliated teams more than one team, but then recently, like Zico said, they've increased the number of teams, added the number of teams to be able to have each team with its own. So
Yeah.
you play for the which?
All right, continue. You play professional. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I played for the Defenders, which used to be for the South Bay Lakers now, but at the time they were Los Angeles Defenders. Iowa Energy. That was fun. It was fun. It was when it was kind of first getting off the ground. They'd been off the ground for a little while, but it was really starting to catch some wind, and it was a wonderful experience for sure.
You never played for the Anaheim Marksmen?
No, actually, no. They had, I forgot the team. They switched their name to a team.
Bakersfield Jam, right?
They were,
Bakersfield Jam.
Yeah.
Bakersfield Jam. And yeah, I remember I went to had a few workouts with them, but I think they were just kind of putting it together, and it wasn't the Bakersfield Jam then. It was like we're trying to put it together type of thing.
So you played 6 years pro,
Yes.
and how many of that was like the NBA portion
It was 3 overseas, 3 G League.
and overseas where?
I played in Sweden. I played in Tepic, Nayarit, Mexico. Was by far the funnest place I played at. Let me tell you. I never, until then, I had never really ate any tacos, actually. So then that was the first time I ever had a taco.
It's a good place to start.
That's crazy.
Right. Then first time I ever had a Coke that had actual real sugar
Sugar.
cane, like the sugar in it.
Mexican Coke.
Mexican Coke. I got addicted.
Those are amazing.
Mexican Coke.
Wait. But that's all I ate out there.
Just tacos and
Tacos and Cokes. Tacos and Cokes.
The drink.
That's it.
bread.
That was
Which was the most competitive?
honestly, I would say Mexico.
Okay. So I'll say
Mexico.
More to Sweden.
at that time, I mean, the G League is just what the athletes that didn't
Right.
know how to play basketball at that time. Like I said, they were just starting, so they were.
That's what it was.
We'll teach them basketball
Right.
around the gym.
See, I think that when the lack of athleticism is there, it becomes the understanding of the game, right? So they play the game much differently.
The IQ.
Like you. They play the game.
This is a really good conversation.
Keep going.
Please,
Go,
let's keep going.
Play the,
So when the athleticism is not there, what happens?
they play the game much differently. They have to play the game in a way that is very low to the ground, right? They have to play. Everything has to be structured at all times.
Kevin Love.
Yeah. So they have to play it.
Really need to develop their skill, right?
Yes, they have to because they're not going to jump over. They're not going to out rebound you. They have to develop the
Fundamentals.
fundamentals to
To make up for the lack of talent.
athleticism.
Athleticism.
So here's the question that we had on the previous episode here is there a difference between talented and being skilled?
Yes.
Yes, because anybody can be talented, right? You can be born just talented in any sport. There's a lot of people that play multiple sports, right? There's people that can, like for me, example, I didn't have to like play a sport, right? And just like work it and work it. I could just, if I saw it on TV, I could just go do it, right? That's talent, right? But a skill set is what keeps you around all the time. That's why you see guys in the NBA right now that are athleticism is off the chart when they first get in the league, but as time goes on, they kind of find their way out or find their way as rotation players. You know what I mean?
Or they develop their skills?
Or they develop their skills. So you got at some point you got to
Like the guy who's played the most games in the NBA.
That was really quiet, Mike. You got to speak up. I don't even have a mic.
I'm just saying. So based on that, you guys are saying LeBron James is the most skilled player in the NBA since he's stayed around at such a high level for so long.
I think that
LeBron's pretty skilled. I never said he's not skilled.
He's lacking some skills.
He's lacking some skills, absolutely. Yeah. He developed a lot more skills as he got older. We agree with that. Our conversation was just I know you're probably like,
1 through 12. 1 through 12 on the roster of the Olympic teams. I said the U.S. team is more skilled 1 through 12 than any other Olympic men's basketball roster.
And our argument was because
they're
in
just
Europe and other countries, they develop skill more because they lack talent. So you're going to see 12th man has more skill than the average NBA athlete who has got.
We're not comparing the average NBA athlete. We're comparing the 12 on the men's U.S. Olympic.
Who mostly has God given
if
talent.
you look at the top players in the NBA right now, right?
Mhm.
How many of them are skilled players from different countries?
Most of them.
Most of them,
Mhm.
right? From every single country.
I agree.
So back to the LeBron topic, I think that in my opinion, he's probably to me his best ability is his ability to pass the ball. That's to me. Right. That is something you can't teach. That's a skill. That's an innate skill.
Agree.
Right? That's something you either have it or you
Sport
don't.
vision. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
So
which is talent. He's born with that ability.
No, that's a skill. That's a skill.
if you're trying to
As
take
a
away
passer,
something to
that's
fit
a
your
skill.
narrative, it doesn't.
No, I'm not trying to fit my narrative because Mike, the difference is your tones went totally down with AJ.
No, because I'm saying what I already said. That's why I just didn't need to say it out loud. I was saying it to you too. It's like, so what he's saying is agreeing that it would be
so we're
LeBron's longevity.
This is the gift.
Pat,
Can a skill be taught, or are you born with the skill?
I think
I think you learned that
To an
skill, though.
extent, athleticism is a skill.
it's skill, but there has to come a time and point where your natural feel for the game comes in, right?
Which is your natural born talent.
But to an extent, every athleticism is a skill. You can develop that as a skill. Talent is the level you have to start. Skill.
There's
You're telling. Wait a minute.
Natural.
Okay, so an Olympic high jumper doesn't have any skills.
No, an Olympic
He
high
does.
jumper has God-given talent to
He
get
has
him
talent
the
that
opportunity
is,
to get
that
there.
is honed through technique.
Right.
That is worked on. Technique and skill are two different things. If you're comparing a high jump.
So you're saying that high jumpers have no skill.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Is their skill is a combination of their natural born talent and their technique that they hone in on and they work on.
Correct.
And they
Becoming a
skill to
better skill.
Their
that's-
skill, though, Mike,
Skill
is-
and talent can be the same thing. You can have a skill and be more talented at that skill, guys. It's still a skill.
AJ, your opinion, because we've had this conversation.
It's shooting a skill. It's shooting a skill.
hold on, no.
It's shooting a basketball.
I could think it could be in the middle because you can have people out there that have put in time, put in resources, money to be a good shooter, but they just are not a good shooter.
Right.
Right.
Or there's people that have the ugliest form and just make shots.
Yeah.
Sean Mary.
AJ, here's where I
And
want
when
to point this out.
talent and skill come together, you get Steph Curry
Okay,
Or Ram.
or Ray Allen.
so here's what I'm going to point out. In terms of the best players in the league right now, like we just said, most of them are foreigners, right?
Right.
Okay, so Jokic and Doncic. We'll start with those two. I know there's more. Those two guys, they honed their craft to get where they are. Correct.
Absolutely.
They did it in another country. Correct.
Correct.
Do you think they're the only ones? Hold on a second. Do you think? No, he was really good then. No, he was really good.
was
Then.
good.
I watched him. I watched him when he was a
drafted.
teenager.
I know he was good.
He was a
got drafted.
monster.
He got drafted.
Him and Nurkic were monsters.
One of them got traded because he wasn't as good yet.
Nurkic got traded because he wasn't as good. No, Nurkic got traded.
They were both at Portland. Joker got traded.
No, they were
No, they weren't. They were in Denver. They were both,
both
in
were
Denver.
in Denver.
They were drafted to the same team. Yeah, they were.
traded.
They played together. Nurkic is the one that got traded to make room for Jokic to play because they.
Portland wanted it.
No, it was actually what happened was Jokic.
Because they
They
traded.
realized Jokic was going to be the better player, even though
Because he
Nurkic
was
started
the
off as
fill.
right. Even though Nurkic started off as the higher pick, they traded Nurkic away for draft potential so that Jokic had the freedom to play. They said this the first year. Mike Malone said the first year he saw Jokic, he realized that the 41st pick was better than the 15th pick.
Oh, he realized he was that guy.
He was that guy. Exactly. Like they thought Nurkic's name was bigger at that time in Europe just because he was playing for a team that was more recognized.
When it was older,
So
he had developed.
No, they're the same age, man.
To the ice, same age.
Yeah, they're about the same age. They played together. They're drafted the same year.
We know that.
So what I was going to say was if they played in Europe and developed this skill in Europe, do you think they just trained by themselves, or do you think that was the whole team being trained together and these guys developed a little further?
And that's why
Because I've been to Europe too, and I've played and I've done all that stuff over there, and Omar knows about this. And I saw the training regimens those teams go through compared to AAU basketball here.
It's different.
It's completely different.
They train.
Completely agree.
They train as a team. They train together. It's like they're in unity, right? They do everything together. It's crazy how much they do together. And once they notice that someone is a little bit more skilled than the next player, they put a little bit more time into that player. So they'll train together as a team. They'll all kind of go through the same things and everything. But once they see that this player A over here is a little bit better, all right, well, after practice, we're going to do a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. And they put that time in before practice, after practice. But they don't, it's not like here, everybody has their own trainer, everybody has their own thing that they do. And a lot of the stuff that they do in Europe is it translates, right, to the game, the way it's played. Whether that's you're playing European ball or whether that's you're playing the NBA ball, it translates, right? A lot of stuff they learn here doesn't translate.
It's all one on one.
It's all one on one. Like that's why when you see guys out there and they're training guys and they're, like they're training them around cones and around stuff like that. And it's nothing wrong with that, but the cones don't move.
And European guys, the teams, they'll take the younger guys and they'll start mixing them with the older guys, and they're training with the older groups.
Right.
Like
That's
they
what you
have
see.
age groups like AAU. It's like 15U. They have that.
Yeah.
However, they'll take the 15U after their game and said, come play with the,
17, 18.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
and that's how
And that's how you see guys that are, that's how you see guys that are 15, 14, 15, 16 years old and they're playing professionally already.
like Luca. I saw Luca do that. I saw Nurkic do that. I saw 15-year-old Nurkic. I watched him live in a game, and he was playing against 30-year-olds.
LaMelo tried.
LaMelo tried, yeah. Well, he didn't do
He
bad.
did okay.
He actually did okay.
Did okay.
I mean, he did what he needed to do to be
Yeah,
drafted.
he did okay. He's a really good NBA.
And he probably should have been the first pick in that draft as opposed to Wiseman.
Oh, yeah.
What
But it's size. They always say you can't.
No, he's in Washington.
Indiana, he just signed with Indiana,
You
yeah.
can't
Yeah.
use size. They've said that it's
Yeah.
forever.
So AJ, since we're not going to get hung up on this episode about the skill versus talent, obviously, to hear your opinion on it. One of the things that we've also debated on our podcast here is top 10 players of all time. Before we kind of go into some of the debates we have here, we'd like to hear what's your top 10 players of all time, and I believe we did it in order, right? So
You can do them in order.
or you can, if
Whatever.
if you're not prepared for it, we had a prepared episode. So if
Okay.
you're not prepared for it, you can just say, okay,
Say what you can.
So for me,
Omar's was crazy.
I already know.
now.
So for me, I would say my number one player is for me, it's going to be Michael Jordan.
Right.
We all agree.
That's
No one's arguing.
that's fine.
I still don't think.
A lot of people don't.
I know the people who grew up with LeBron and I still don't see how you can argue Jordan at number one.
They never even watched him, and they're still arguing. Like, that's what blows my mind.
Well, you see, the thing for me that got me with Jordan is I had never seen anybody compete, right, with that type of passion before. Like you can compete, right, and you can compete, but when you compete with a level of passion, it changes the complexity of the game, right? That was the first time I saw something like that. So for me, that's would be my number one. My number two player. I don't. That's kind of tough. But my number two player, I would say, was probably LeBron. LeBron. I think that he's, in my opinion, he's a scoring version of Magic Johnson to me.
Okay.
Right there, scoring version of Magic Johnson to me. Number three. It's a lot of players, man. I would say Kobe.
Okay.
I'm saying Kobe at number three. Number four, I'd say Tim Duncan.
Okay.
Tim Duncan, number four. I'd say I'd say a King five. Strong five. I'd say Magic Johnson. I'd go Larry Bird for sure. I'd go at seven. I'm gonna throw somebody in there, and this is just my personal opinion. I love Rajon Rondo.
Interesting. Top 10 of all time.
I'm throwing him in there as one of my top 10 guys.
Okay, good. So I thought that was crazy, but okay.
Guys,
I'm
yeah,
not a
yeah.
fan, but yeah, top 10.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I absolutely love Rondo. Right? I absolutely love Rondo.
We're gonna circle back to that one.
Yes, we can. I would say after that, probably
Rondo's at 8.
Rondo's at 8 for me. I would say Allen Iverson after that. And I would say, I know I'm probably missing guys. That's for sure.
I mean, I'm gonna say one person that I think we all had in our top 10, and you missed him, is Shaq.
I didn't say Shaq.
No, he doesn't say Shaq.
Oh,
So he's Shaq in your top 10. I don't know.
Shaq's gonna be in my top 10. Actually, I'm actually.
You got Shaq, you got Kareem, you got
You got Kareem.
Will. So
Okay, well, the reason why it's
There's
hard
gonna be a
miss
snub.
some of those Kareem kind of guys is because I don't really watch those guys. You know what I mean? I didn't really watch them, so they could be top 10, but I never really got a chance to watch
Right.
Kareem play like that. I remember used to see Larry Bird play because my dad used to watch him. Right? See Jordan play Magic, but I never saw that. So I'm just remembering guys that I saw on a regular basis.
That's not very.
Yeah, that's
the
fair
I
assessment.
think that's the biggest debate that everybody has in the top 10. Is every year, every generation, I don't want to even call it era, right? Every generation has their own version of their top 10.
Absolutely.
Watching, idolizing, mimicking their game after, or vice versa. And so I think that's the issue that we face with all these podcasts and all these debates and all these, reporters and everybody. It's okay. We don't have an even playing field to kind of assess these people's greatness. Now, some of them, and we're talking about the Jordans of the world, I'm going to throw Steph Curry because Steph Curry was in my top 10.
Well, that was one of my 10.
Okay, see.
That was one of my 10.
So to me, those two types of players have changed the game in some form or fashion. Those two, like, we know the game today has changed because of stuff. And it's trickled down into the younger generation of how they play the game, how they try to mimic him. Jordan's
good or bad though.
Unfortunately, I
Good
think
or
Steph
bad,
Curry
doesn't
is bad.
Yeah, I think his is bad.
and Stan Van Gundy said that he got crucified for it, right? Steph is.
I've
bad
said it
the
for
game.
years.
I don't think he's bad for the game. I think
Well,
he's
for the game in general, we talk about the grassroots, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
makes sense because
kids think they can do that.
kids think they can do that, but they don't do what Steph does. They don't see the behind the scenes that Steph does. They're not willing to go through what he went through to get to who he is today.
I mean,
So
even today,
he is a great in the sense of he's one of the greatest to ever play the game, and he's actually influenced the game, good or bad. The game has changed because of him.
yeah, if you listen to Steph today, he even says anytime he touches the ball, his first 50 shots are right in front of the hoop. He makes 5 perfect shots from right under the basket, takes a step back. 5 perfect shots, takes a step back.
These kids are coming in. First thing,
There's the giant of
And-
half-court shots.
That's what I tell my kids, the kids I coach, even some of the the high school guys, the 4 or 5-star guys, and the overseas programs, don't come into the gym and the first thing you do is shoot with them. Yeah, don't do that. Right? It's a rhythm thing. Right? You come in the gym. It's called spot shooting. You know what I'm saying? You come in the gym or form shooting. You come in the gym, you get your 10 on this side, 10 in the middle, 10, and you just kind of back up. But you don't come in the gym and start shooting threes. And I think that's where
but it's where 90% of these kids are at.
that's what they do.
And that's the only thing about the Steph Curry that I would say is bad because kids just see it and go,
Steph Curry effect.
yeah, okay,
It's not
yeah.
called.
Because they come out and they're like, oh, if he shoot from, I can shoot from right here.
But
Where it's like you look at Michael Jordan's and the guys dunking, kids know they can't dunk.
Steph also contributed to the analytics of the game.
I think he took the analytics
To another level.
not even that. I think he took the analytics and said, okay, this is what I'm going to do with it.
No, I'm not saying him. We're talking about how now the game is
How it's looked at
how
because
it's looked at.
Well,
Steph is part of that influence.
he's removed
But the three,
mid range.
Yeah, well, the threes, once they figured out threes, I mean, even Steph's career, he's progressively shot more and more threes. One, because he has developed more skill and can shoot them better, but also because of analytics saying that, hey, it's better to take that 3 than a 2.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I know.
But
We're
the
agreeing.
thing is that's why to me. And then Jordan, we all know, Jordan changed the way you wear your shorts. Jordan changed the way you carry yourself as a basketball player. The swag, that shoes.
See, to me,
I mean, we all wear Jordan shoes at once.
We all wear Jordan
We
shoes.
all probably still wear them, right?
Yeah.
Steve was the only one that doesn't have a pair.
to me, a top 10
Jordans.
So I do. I actually have.
Oh,
Yeah.
never see you wear those.
No, I don't wear them. I think I have like an old pair of Jordans and an old pair of Kobe's that I've never worn. I keep them like hidden away. I'm gonna give them to my kids one day, kind of thing. So yeah.
That Nike blue that's
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm gonna interrupt. So I have tons of shoes, right? and I have the Jordan, the Mellow 1.5s. And I took them out. My kids were like, "Oh, what are those?" And I'm like, "These are the Mellows." And they're like, "Well, we came out with a new shoe." No, they thought it was Love Mellow because of Mellows. I'm like, no. This is the Mellow,
The real mellow.
So they learned about Carmelo Anthony, but it's like it's great. That's a generation thing.
But back to what we were saying about the skill, talent. That's someone that is pure skill. Carmelo. Pure skill.
Carmelo Anthony.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
The way
absolutely.
he plays the game,
Absolutely.
it's skillful.
Unfortunately, like 98% of it was on the offensive side. If he would have had a little more effort on the defensive side, he'd be talked about as one of the greatest ever. Because offensively, the guy was unbelievable. The way he could do
He can score
offensively
at
was,
three levels.
yeah.
He can score with his back of the basket. And
I love the way he dunks too.
Yeah.
Just
It's funny
flush
you say
it
that.
away.
There's people that I watch, and this is how much I pay attention to the game. I love the way some people dunk. Like I just like you know some people like they get up and they can do all the dunk shoot, the windmills, the 360,
and they
all
don't care
that.
for it.
I don't care about that.
Yeah,
I like
the in-game dunk.
in-game power. You know what I mean? I like the guards that come down the middle, like the Westbrooks, like
Oh, yeah.
like the 2 feet, sit on the rim type of
or
thing.
the way.
Or the Dwayne Waits. I don't
Dwayne Waits.
like
I
Derrick
love
Rose.
those.
I like those.
I
kind
love
of
those.
But that's what I loved about Bellows. Is that he never touched the rim. He just
That was his
yeah, he just
but
he told his way.
She would have spit.
Yeah.
It's a good job.
Yep.
Now, if we talk about in-game dunkers, we haven't had this conversation. But
We can
Kenyon
do that.
was
Oh yeah, I love
probably one
him.
of the best in-game dunkers of all time.
Late thousands, early '90s dudes could dunk. These big guys, they're underappreciated.
Okay,
The
so what?
Amari Stoudemire's, the
Yeah,
Stromile Swift, Kenyon Martin, all these dudes.
There used to be a guy. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Hold on, tell us the team. Let's use this as kind of a trivia question. You describe the guy that seems we can identify.
But he didn't play in the NBA.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Where did he
right on
play?
that.
Went to USC.
Okay, keep going.
He went to Linwood High School. He
What
played.
year?
I want to say he graduated in 05 or 06.
We're talking. We're not talking
I
about
might know him then.
Nope.
Keep going.
He was to me the best.
So
dunker.
did he play? Was that OJ Mayo's year?
It was
It was 5
Two-
years.
no,
It was like
7. So
Later.
7. Yeah.
It was the way he dunked to me, and I had never seen it. Linwood.
Yeah.
Went to USC.
05 and 6.
Yep.
Was with was it Frazier and Gibson? Was that they? I'm trying to think of the player. I might be
He
able to
didn't make the
remember.
league.
I know, but I'm trying to think. We
No,
played with the USC.
So we're talking about 05.
No, he's played overseas for a long time.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think
And he's
about who
been
his
playing
teammates
overseas.
were.
I don't know if he's played overseas.
I'm trying to remember who his teammates were so I could pinpoint who he
Yes.
was.
I want to say his teammates were.
I think that
I
was.
want to say at that time,
Gibson.
maybe Nick Young, maybe Gabe.
So it was.
Oh,
it was
maybe it
Gabe,
was Nick Young.
Gabe Pruitt.
Gabe Pruitt,
right?
Nick Young.
Young.
Oh man,
Just give these guys a name.
Devon Jefferson.
I do.
Bro, Devon is still playing right now. Okay.
I used to
So,
love the way he dunked.
Most people don't know Devon Jefferson
Look him up.
unless you're a hooper.
Look him up.
See, that's why I was trying to narrow it down because Devon is still getting paid.
That's what I was trying to remember the teammates. If I remember who was there,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
he
figure it out.
didn't do it. So like so impatient did it. But yes, Devon Jefferson.
I
I've actually seen it.
remembered his name
Him up.
until you said it. Once you said
He
it,
was
yeah, I
one of
remember
the first people I saw come down in a high school game between the legs, in and out, and take off from the second block. Just two hands. Just he was 6'7", 6'7".
In fact, he was ahead of his time.
Probably.
Because if Devon Jefferson from SC
Yeah.
played in the last 5 years, he would be a lottery pick.
Oh yeah.
His ability to handle, to shoot, athletics, most people don't know that. As a matter of fact, I seen him at the Drew recently, and he was just chilling, bro. Most people had no clue. Like some of the new generation people had no clue that man is a paid professional athlete that was just watching, sitting at 6'10".
If people watch this, I want them to Google Devon Jefferson.
I'll share. I'll
There you
share it
go.
on Instagram too.
Like, subscribe, and then
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing.
What you think?
His videos on YouTube, and I'll share it on Instagram.
Maybe he'll
Amazing.
I do
put
remember.
links in the comment section
Yeah.
below.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Zico, let's go ahead and do this.
You know what? I got to throw one more guy in there since we're talking about old school, and I know you guys know him. I got to be I got to be the ball boy for one of his teammates when he was at the Memphis Grizzlies trying to get back into the NBA. But Shea Cotton, I've never seen a player get their entire head above the rim when they were dunking. It was absolutely insane to watch him. Obviously, I watched him after high school.
Yeah.
He was the next LeBron, if you guys remember, or the first LeBron.
He was at Modern Day, right?
He was at Modern Day, yeah. And he played with my brother. Yeah, he played with one of my friends there. And I got to see him when he was trying out for the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies rented out the gym in my high school, and we're practicing there. And I was Drew Gordon's ball boy the entire time. And Shea Cotton showed up, and everyone was just quiet the second he got in there. And I didn't really know who he was at the time because I was like a junior. And then I saw him go up one time, and I swear his entire head was above the rim. And he was just the biggest, most ripped physical body I've ever seen, aside from LeBron since then. I've never seen a person that type of body.
There's stories about him. There's documentaries about him. And people that are in basketball know his story and know his ability and who he was.
Yeah. But that was just the power dunker. You're talking about your guy, and like when I saw every time he dunked, I thought the rim was just gonna come off.
And that's how Devon used to dunk. It used to like the backboard, like he dunked, boom, the backboard just shaking, and you'd go up and down a couple possessions and still be shaking.
Let's see. I actually followed him when I was young, so I'm gonna say
Devon, send it to me. I'll show you on Instagram.
Post it. Let's tap Devon. If he's still in town, we gotta get him on a podcast.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
but since we're talking about like guys that most people don't know, another person that used to be a power dunker and didn't really show it much, but in high school and college, was a problem. It was Craig Smith.
Yep.
Craig Smith.
Which one?
Boston College, Craig Smith. Clippers, Craig Smith.
Oh no, okay, yeah.
Black Rhino, right?
Black Rhino.
There's another Craig Smith in the NBA right now, so that's why I kind of hesitate.
Yeah, we're talking about the OG Craig Smith.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Black Rhino.
Shout out to Craig. He was on the episode podcast and told me he needs to join us, and he actually liked it. So
yeah. That's right. I remember when he told me that would be cool.
Who else?
There's guys, people.
That was a good.
There's people like Ray Allen. Most kids don't know Ray Allen used to just
supersonic dunk on walking Ray Allen.
Just used to
kill people. One of the best shooting guards. Prototype.
But I mean, it was before he was shooting. I mean, he could shoot up.
That's shooting guard prototype that could do everything. And it wasn't until he went to Boston where he became more of that spot up shooter that extended.
Yeah, that was the system when they started changing.
But
that was also the way the NBA changed in the 2000s. Nobody was getting into the paint. The way they play defense, good luck getting into the paint. That's why that mid-range.
You were not getting into the paint.
Yeah, you weren't getting in the paint. Yeah, and if you were, Tony Parker weaved his way in and out and got to it, but if you weren't getting hit.
Ray Allen was
Andre Iguodala. A lot of people never saw him gunning.
You know what it is though?
They just saw him at the end of his career playing defense. They didn't see him just dunking.
The thing was back then, back then it was personal. You wanted to do Jordan. I remember he said he had like every center's name down on a piece of paper and would just cross him off after he dunked on him.
See, because back then there was no you're absolutely right. It was friendless.
Yeah.
So they could be buddies, right? But yet they're trying to kill each other on the basketball court. There wasn't no, hey, we're working out together. There wasn't
and that's my knock about LeBron. He wants to be everybody's best friend and have a handshake with every single NBA player.
But I think that's just the NBA and kids today in general.
No, there's still some kids that want to take it personal.
So
still,
let me ask you this:
very few, but the problem is LeBron came in an era when LeBron got drafted.
Nobody did that.
Nobody did that.
Right.
He created
ushered that in.
I'm
not going to disagree with that.
That new generation of hoopers bought into and everybody. But I mean, it's just different. The game's different. We all acknowledge it.
100%.
So I had this discussion with somebody about LeBron and being the best player ever. And in fact, I think I had it one time when he was at your house. Okay, that's the first time I ever had it. Is any of you guys, is LeBron your number one player?
No, he's number two.
Okay. Would LeBron be your number one player if he played in a more demonstrative manner?
I would
like him a lot more.
Okay. So if he played in the manner in which He wanted to be flat out better than you. He wanted to kill you every single time.
That would change probably my perspective of LeBron and my opinion of.
I think that would change a lot of people's opinion because if your player, number one player is Jordan, right? He played that way. If your number one player is Kobe, he played that way. Number one player is Shaq, he played that way. Allen Iverson, he played that way, right? You can name your top 10 and they all played that way. That to me,
Except for Magic. Magic and LeBron are the same to me. And like Magic was the reason I fell in love with basketball. That was the first player I watched. As a kid, I really thought he made magic. Like as a kid, that's what went through my head. But
he also came in at a time
He didn't make magic.
Smart. Which is
yeah, but
He did make magic.
he did make magic,
but
right?
I know, but like my whole thing with Magic is Magic never considered himself the greatest. Like he never did. Like he knew it was Jordan. He knew he needed
different.
right. He knew he needed those guys around. He knew he needed Kareem to be the number one. Like honestly, I know he went to the finals against Jordan, lost that year. Kareem had retired, or whatever the year after Kareem retired. Do you honestly think Magic would have won without Kareem? Because I don't. Like we know Kareem could win without him because he did. He did it before Magic.
But
I don't think Magic can win with him.
Special too is understanding that he can lead in a different way.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Magic and LeBron are to me very similar in that aspect. They're the only two guys that are not the a-holes like everyone else we just mentioned on the list that won in a completely different manner.
But see, Magic doesn't walk around thinking he's the greatest of all time.
Right, that's
Versus LeBron, right? So to answer your question, yes, if LeBron played with the demonstrative manner or same dominating,
the Kobe is important now. Yeah,
yes, to me it would change completely how I think about it.
I thought he was going to do that. I used to say like,
when he went to Miami.
right.
Actually,
Well, is
earlier
I
in
thought
earlier part of his career where he put the backpack on
Right.
and he wanted to be
when he scored those 50 points against the Detroit Pistons, like that was like the flip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When he was
I-
dunking on you coming
Right.
out of the middle of the paint.
I used to tell people, like, I used to say, like, hey, like, I think Kobe might end up passing Jordan. Like, I say, like, he's the only guy that could do it, but then I think LeBron might end up passing him. Because you kind of saw, like, that same attitude to start, and then it's like the second he went to Miami, something changed. Like, something to me changed at that point.
I think somebody told him how to make more money.
Yeah, I think he focused more on money than basketball.
And again, what LeBron has done off the basketball court, we can't deny.
No, and I think he set up a lot of players. I think the blueprint for that, and that's why they're all friendly and they all want to network.
He's
and they
done a
all-
lot for them.
100%.
He's done a lot for them, and he's done a lot for the game from a financial aspect. He's done a lot for these players. I'm not going to discredit any of that for LeBron. I'm only talking about what we're talking about inside those four lines. When LeBron went to Miami, Dwayne Wade was the alpha. I don't think anybody's going to deny that, Mike, but you. When LeBron went to Miami, Dwayne Wade was the alpha. Because Dwayne
When
Wade
he
was
went
already
there, when he got there.
when he went there, because Dwayne Wade was the alpha when Shaq was there, and they won that first one, and Dwayne Wade remained the alpha while LeBron was there. You all right?
I don't know. I mean, I can see the argument. I would sit here and listen to the argument. Maybe it could be Dwayne Wade, but it's still, I mean, Dwayne Wade will say it was LeBron's team. Right?
Well, the great leaders say,
Right. No.
some of the great leaders say it's my team. You know what I'm saying?
I get that's what I'm saying. I kids understand that. We all agree it wasn't Chris Bosh.
Well, we know that part. But so right there, like Zeke was saying, when he went to Miami, something switched. Now, whether it was, you know what, let me get these championships whichever way I need to, and let me leverage that to make more money and create, that $1 billion, network that I have. Maybe that was it. Because we talked about this on the previous episode. People hate KD to go to state, but people don't understand what he benefited by being close to Silicon Valley when he went up there.
By the way, I do want to point one thing out, just because of LeBron's what he chose to do. Out of his titles, out of people that have won 3 or more titles, LeBron had 14 All-Stars in the titles that he's won. Hold on a second. There's a reason I just point this out. Magic had 13. They're the all-time leaders in most All-Stars played with on the same team.
Yeah, but if you're
The third most is Bird.
but if you're
10.
counting Shaq as LeBron playing with an All-Star,
The
that's great.
year that he won, that person made the All-Star team. 14 players made All-Star teams playing with LeBron.
So that
So the year he's won the
The
championship.
year they won the championship, 14 players. If out of the 4 titles he had, his
So he's
played
had 14 All-Stars.
14 All-Stars in 4 titles.
Ones like
Correct.
trying to say.
Okay, so who are your 14? So you,
Like it might not be 14 players. It might not be 14 players. It'll be 14
Okay, so
Dwayne
basically,
made one.
Dwayne could have 3
Right.
All-Stars.
Right.
The-
That's like the
the-
3.
the-
so when he won with Kevin Love, they're taking all of his All-Star appearances before.
No.
he was-
He was an All-Star that year.
If he was an All-Star that year,
Okay.
the year like that's what I'm telling you. So like
Okay. So he
Kevin Love,
Kyrie.
It may not be 14 different players, is what Zico's saying.
right.
Well, how
Like
many?
Chris Bosh,
No,
Chris
but-
Bosh and Dwayne Wade were 2.
Right.
That's
Two,
four
okay,
total.
okay, so that's probably been
That's 4.
That's what I'm saying. So they're 4. Kyrie's 5.
Anthony Davis.
KD's 6.
This is the stat I read directly off of an
Okay,
article.
but I'm saying collectively, who were
Kevin Love.
the other 8? Did Kevin
Kevin
Love
Love,
make the mid
Kyrie.
year? Okay.
Mhm.
So Kevin Love, that you're
talking about
7.
after?
No, they're talking about during that season.
During the year,
So
actually,
there's 7.
it might have been the maybe
I'm saying, this
each
is-
finals. And I think it might have been that. LeBron had 14 in his 10 final appearances.
10 final. That changes the number, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Bird had 10, Magic had 13.
so basically that is,
Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade.
well, he's been
Right.
to 10 NBA finals.
Well, I know, and I'm saying
Well, hold on. But
4 of those are
that's
with
not-
Miami. So
he's been with Cleveland to the finals.
So again,
It was also that year. So
Ilgauskas.
more than half of those.
So
More than half of those All-Star appearances are from 2 guys in 4 years.
No.
So the other 6.
No. Back up, Mike. He corrected the statement of the stat. So what you
Right.
the way you were talking
Those appearances.
yeah. So then it's not counting
It
both
is.
twice.
It is.
It
is.
It's
Still
counting
counting
both
both
4
twice.
times.
Still counting
Only
balls.
twice.
4 times because he went to the finals 4 times with Miami.
Right. Jordan in his 6 finals appearances. Jordan in his 6 finals appearances.
Lost
So you
the
know,
first one, won the next 2, lost the last one.
Jordan
Dallas lost to San Antonio.
in his 6 finals appearances had 4 teammates make All Stars.
Yeah,
There's
Scottie
Pippen every single year.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah.
So in 2 of those years, Pippen did not make it because he was injured.
Okay.
Okay. And then Duncan is also tied with Jordan for.
I know you sent this to me, but the way it's calculated is crazy because you're looking at LeBron James's 4 out of his 10 accounted for over half of these All-Star.
But they made it those years before.
But it's the other
It's like
6.
the same thing with Magic. It was
Okay.
Kareem and Worthy every single year.
Fellas, since I made a comment earlier, we're not going to talk about Kobe. We're not talking about LeBron. I actually want to go with this.
But I have one more question about LeBron.
Okay. Since you're the guest, you allowed to hear your opinion.
Why is it that? First of all, do you think it's hard to play with LeBron? Do you think it's
I
hard?
think you have to make
So
the
if you
judgment
come
to
a
blame
team,
LeBron.
if you're on a team and you're the man, and you come play with LeBron, you
But we
think-
know how that's impacted everybody who wasn't a man or
But
keep their status.
it's a 2-part question.
Okay.
Is it hard to play with LeBron? And secondly, when they leave from playing LeBron, why do they turn back into the man?
Well, I don't know if everyone's turned back into the man after LeBron. Dwayne Wade fell off. He was older. Chris Bosh fell off because he had a heart problem.
Okay.
Kevin Love fell off because he was older. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys.
Kyrie did it.
Well, Kyrie fell off those initial years when he went to Boston. He had
You call that parallel off?
Yeah.
no. For what Kyrie was, but
He got injured.
he wasn't successful in Boston. They didn't like him in Brooklyn.
Call it injured. Call it he had a bad year in Boston, whatever. But he showed you.
He can still play at that level. Yeah.
So
Some of that has to do with age, though.
correct. But don't
Right.
put him in the category of the Dwayne Wade.
No, I'm not. I'm just thinking through their careers.
To answer this question, there are some players that have played with LeBron.
Who became the man after playing with LeBron?
I mean, we can say Kyrie has been.
I don't think he became the man. Luka's the man. Kevin Durant was the man.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
So, but like, I'll give you like a Brandon Ingram.
Are we talking about the man, meaning you're the alpha and you're the leader of that team, or do you mean you went from being cold to being cold again?
Exactly.
That's not the man.
Like, I'll say Brandon Ingram got better after the one season.
Because they go play with whoever team is on the run.
But these bigs, dude.
But after that, right? What happens?
Like, why can't I think Tristan Thompson? Tristan Thompson was garbage without LeBron.
Well, and he's still garbage with or without.
Well, when LeBron was there, he was beneficial.
Tristan Thompson.
But what I'm saying is he made Tristan Thompson beneficial.
Yeah, second pick and roll, and then
But that's what I'm saying. So I think it depends on who you are. But I will agree, like if you look at the Golden State Warriors, right? And they took Durant, and Durant went in there seamlessly. I think Durant can go into another team and fit seamlessly much better than LeBron. Because I think Durant isn't that guy where he's like, I need to be this. Whereas if LeBron goes into Golden State, they're still winning. I'm not taking that. If LeBron went to Golden State, when Durant did, they're still winning. But it would have been a much different team and a much different look. So I completely agree. You have to
but
adjust
it's
to
not
LeBron.
just it's not just
Right, wrong, or indifferent.
it's not just Durant example. Almost every player that has played with LeBron
It has to adjust.
has to adjust to LeBron's game.
That's what, yeah.
And that has taken away from their
Own game.
100%
production,
Completely
has taken
agree.
away from their game.
Completely agree.
Chris Bosh, before he got to Miami, was a 24-12 guy, an all-star in Toronto. Yes, it's Toronto, but he was that guy in Toronto.
Yep.
He went to Miami and was what, 16-8?
I think
And he
it
came
was.
over catches.
He was close to a double. Yeah, he became a stretch forward. He developed that game. Yeah.
Kevin Love was damn near averaging 20 and 20, right? Goes to
Yep.
Miami, turns into what?
I completely agree. I think you have to adjust to LeBron James, and you are going to sacrifice.
For
Is that career?
So
No, I don't think
I
it's
want to chime into that in terms of being good or bad.
But the one thing I would point out is I think he wanted Anthony Davis to come and be Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis couldn't. So LeBron went back to being how he was.
Go ahead.
You think
I got something about that. I got something.
He's like,
Anthony Davis could not, or did LeBron not let him?
I see it. That's why I don't know. It very well could be, but I think the initial thing was LeBron wanted somebody to come in and do what they do so that he didn't have to do it, and he still has to do it, and that's why they're not winning.
I think that this is my opinion. I just think that they play better to me when the ball goes to Anthony Davis first. Play much better team, right? If to me, I would have LeBron run the lanes. You run the lanes, you catch the ball at the elbow, mid post, and you get your action out of there, right? And we're gonna play through Anthony Davis. Therefore, your decision making is quicker. You're quicker to the basket. You're quicker to the rim, and you're taking wear and tear off your feet.
See that?
Let me because I got cut off a couple times. That's exactly what I was going to say about LeBron. If I were to play with LeBron as a pass first point guard, I'd walk in there and be like, "What am I supposed to do now?" You know, like I'm watching someone not only people knock Chris Paul like crazy for this. LeBron does the same thing. He holds the ball. He's going to dictate an entire play, and he's going to do it for 20 seconds out of the shot clock. And when it's too late for him to do anything, then he's going to let someone else decide in a 4-second span. He does this all the time. Why is it that when he plays through Anthony Davis, the offense looks better?
You know what I think? Zip.
Way smart. It runs much smoother. Everybody gets open shots.
And this is a new generation thing
AJ's gonna
too.
love
You know, Kevin Garnett just trashed Anthony Edwards about this, and he talked about this. And this is something I hate about the new NBA. You know, like they dribble the living hell out of the ball. They hold the ball. When I tell kids this all the time, if you're holding the ball for 12, 13, 14 seconds, like imagine you're a shooter. I'm not even a shooter. Like imagine you're a shooter and you're set and you're waiting and you're wide open for 10 seconds.
It's annoying.
And you're just like, I don't care anymore. You put your hands
It's
down.
annoying. And then you
And then you get the ball.
Right.
You know, now you're not set. Now you're mad, and you throw your teammates off. And then whose fault is it at that point?
You're throwing
Right. It's like these are the things like I personally, I know he looks fun, and I know some aspects might be fun next to playing to him. I don't like that style. I don't want to play in that style.
You know that fixed it. You know who fixed it? You know who fixed it? Rondo.
Yeah, Rondo's huge.
because you know
they talking.
Yeah.
see,
Now we talk.
Because Rondo was able to take the ball out of his hand because LeBron respects his mind.
I'm with you. LeBron respects high IQ players. I'm with you on that. But Rondo also he's in his top 10. Which
That's why I brought it up.
Rondo was able to take three of the biggest names and kind of be the glue guy
Yeah,
and basically do that. So LeBron is forced.
Rondo fixed a lot of teams' issues.
Rondo
To respect Rondo.
Rondo had the assertiveness, the confidence to tell you that's a bad shot.
And,
If you shoot it again, I'm not passing it to you.
and correct me if I'm wrong. Rondo's old school. He's going to punch you in your chest.
Yeah, that's exactly. We all agree on old school, new school, man. Like,
Rondo's an old school type of guy, and that's why I don't know how much of it is respect. But I'm like, man, I want no problem with Rondo.
no, I don't think in a fist fight, LeBron's worried about that. But I think
Rondo's
Rondo's the type of guy that's going to demand respect, and he's going to say, "No, I'm the point guard. You're going to give me the ball." Exactly. He ran that offense, whether LeBron was in it or not.
that was the biggest mistake.
LeBron deferred to him.
Yeah,
And that's the biggest mistake the Lakers did by letting Rondo walk.
you keep him at
Some of that was age.
Yeah, but you
Like,
keep him
some
at
of that was age. I agree, but like,
Exactly.
yeah.
keep Rondo.
But I think where they made a mistake is they didn't go find someone like him to replace him,
That stronger after Rondo left.
and they let him walk.
So
That was
the thing is,
that was a mistake
like
to
Mike
let him go
said,
too.
I would have brought in Dennis Schroeder and had Rondo on the bench and let him mentor and guide Dennis
Yeah, I
Schroeder.
agree with that. But
Let's see how that works.
LeBron clashed with Schroeder because he didn't respect him. So it's different.
Because you didn't have that person on the bench. See, Miami did something that a lot of people hated on. And to a certain extent, after a while, it's like, okay, enough is enough, just make him a coach. But Udonis Haslem was that player that
But that started top down. The second Pat Riley said, "I'm not dealing with your shit," like everything changed for him. That was the year, like that first year, LeBron was a nightmare. He was complaining all the time. He wanted things his way, whining. He wanted Spoelstra out, and Pat Riley came from the top and be like,
No, we're
Same
talking
thing we
about
did to Jimmy Butler right now. I said, you gotta shut up. I know, but that started with Pat Riley, not
You gotta have
LeBron.
somebody.
Yeah, you got to have that Haslem.
You gotta have that Haslem.
I think a lot.
Yeah, but Haslam wasn't there yet. Like you're talking about Haslam, like, oh, he was that at that point. He wasn't that at that point. He was a younger player at that time
In
too.
Miami, they kept him around a lot longer than he was a serviceable NBA player.
I agree with that, but I'm just telling you, like, I just don't think LeBron would have cared, even if Rondo was there, to say he's not you. Like, I don't think you would have given Schroeder that.
Yeah, no, I
That's
agree
what
with
I'm
you.
saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I still think you keep Rondo around because at that time Rondo was still very.
I get what you're saying, but I
Like, hey, they traded for Westbrook, and
None of
they all agreed that was the wrong move.
100.
Had they went and got Chris Paul at that time, who was not like anywhere near what he Westbrook was at that point, like LeBron probably would have listened to Chris Paul.
So let me ask you that to that point.
Yeah.
Let me ask you that to that point.
Dominic Caruso.
When they traded for Westbrook, do you think that if they would have just let Westbrook be Westbrook and let LeBron
You can't.
no, let's let LeBron run the lanes, right? And finish at the rim, right? Do you think they would have been a better team?
Yes,
No.
but LeBron won't do that.
Absolutely, because what's happening is you're putting Westbrook in the corner to stand and shoot threes.
This is what
That's
I
not
just
as
said.
much
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Bringing in Westbrook wouldn't have worked either because it didn't work on any of
I
the
mean,
teams.
it could have
I think it
worked.
could have worked.
Yeah, it could have worked if LeBron would have adjusted. But like my whole thing is, if I have to pick one, like if I'm gonna if they just aren't gonna work, I'm gonna pick LeBron over Westbrook at that point.
Yeah.
Westbrook got offended. Well, why don't you pick me instead of like, hey man, come on, like you're great and all, but like,
Westbrook got offended because he's an LA kid.
right?
It's like you chose LeBron over an LA kid.
Yeah.
LA guy. But if they would have wanted him, yes, it would have been dangerous. But that was never going to happen. That was a bad experiment. This is what's going to happen in Denver now.
I think Westbrook in Denver's terrible.
I think he's gonna do better than you guys think.
That's crazy. He's
Trying to because they're actually not replacing him with KCP. He's going to be coming off the bench. He's going to be coming off the bench. They're going to start Braun. They're hoping Braun
Steps up.
Yeah, steps up and develops. They're hoping that he becomes that guy, and they're hoping that Westbrook can be a guy who comes in and gives Jamal Murray some like breaks because Jamal Murray, look, he got hurt. I told you he was going to get hurt again.
Yeah.
You know, he plays too many
But who
minutes.
start back up last
I forgot what
the
it
years
was.
he won?
It was
Jackson.
Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson did the year they won it, or was someone else?
the very year after he won it.
He came the year after. They had somebody else there. It was the guy they traded to. Yeah, Monte Morris. They traded him to Washington.
Yeah, but Monte Morris was the third string guard.
I
He was
think
the
Reggie
second.
Jackson was there.
Was he the year that it won? I can't
The thing
remember.
is, if you look at all those backup point guards that
How we doing?
about, you know, they all could shoot. So they all were able to
They
shoot.
were a threat.
They were a threat from the 3-point.
Right, but if they have shooters all around Westbrook, they can make it work. That's like the whole thing. Dude, they revamped the entire second group. So yeah, they have all younger guys that they're trying to develop.
Yeah, it was Reggie Jackson.
It was rejection.
Yeah,
My bad.
They had Bones Highland, Reggie Jackson, Bill Murray. Were
That's what I was thinking. Bones Highland. Bones Highland was there too, and they let him go.
Daily Vernon.
that was
Yeah,
2022,
tell me what their current
2023.
roster is now, Omar. Who's coming off the bench?
Sneakily though, Aaron Gordon was the biggest pickup for Denver.
Yeah, I love that pickup. Great pick.
Because he's a guy who seamlessly goes in. He didn't want to be the man in Orlando.
Well, I think he did. I think he realized when he came to that team, hey, this is my role, and I'm going to take that role. There's some guys that won't accept their role. He accepted it wholeheartedly, and that's what made it work.
I also think in Denver the pressure was off of him.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to be the guy every night.
Right.
And he could do his thing that he needed to do every night. And he did it
He
great.
did it well. He did it well. I love his he takes pressure off of Jokic in terms of, protecting the rim,
Mhm.
right? He also takes pressure off the guards because he brings the ball up,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I love his game.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
We'll leave this one go. I mean, Denver Nuggets roster upgrades, downgrades, whatever for another episode. But
We're gonna have to go through all the teams soon.
I think right now we're talking about so many different things, a lot of history of the NBA. We went back to certain generations. I got a couple trivia questions for you guys. Let's see.
The answer's Wemby.
Huh?
We'll beat everything.
Yeah. Okay. Which supersonic player played the most number of minutes in a game?
Is this the guy we're gonna know, or is it some obscure?
You should know.
Okay.
Gary Payton?
No.
It's not gonna be the obvious. It's not gonna be Sean Kemp. It's not gonna be Gary Payton. Detlef Schrempf.
Nope.
Hersey Hawkins?
Nope.
Nate McMillan.
Nope.
Kevin Durant.
Nope. Are we good now?
Prisbilla?
Nope. Dale Ellis.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna get that.
Okay. Some of our
Come up with something that these younger kids might know, so they like it.
1941.
Actually, I'm gonna come up with a question since we talked about the younger kids not knowing Michael Jordan, right?
Not watching him. They
Not watching.
they all got issues.
They got the shit, but we're talking about not watching. Well, outside of number 23
Or
and
45.
45,
He wore 8,
actually wrong.
6.
Stop. Let me finish the question. What other number did Jordan wear?
Does it in the NBA?
Yeah, in the NBA.
He wore it
Other
for
than
one
23 and
game.
45?
23 game. He wore it for one game. They forgot his jersey. I think it was 0 or something. He didn't have a
No
name.
name on the
They
back.
didn't have a name. I forget what
He didn't have a
number.
name on the back. He worked for one game.
Yeah. It was.
I've seen that before.
Oh, it was in like yeah, I forget what it was. I think
Number 12.
was it 12?
Well,
Number 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Now, if anyone could find footage of that game, that would be cool.
he wore number 12. The iron-on jersey.
Who's that guy?
Who's that?
Doesn't even have a name on the back.
Okay.
Mike.
Looks like him.
Okay. As of 2010, you should know this. Who owns the NBA record for the most technical fouls committed with 41?
Draymond Green?
Rasheed Wallace.
Since 2010?
Oh, as of
2010. Rasheed Wallace.
Okay. I thought you meant since 2010.
That's what I believe in. That'd be a lot.
who holds
gotta
the
wrap
most
these up,
number
though.
of career assists?
John Stockton.
John Stockton.
By a landslide, right?
Once again, that don't know, time even.
That probably want to be a record that probably never be broken.
That's
Especially in today's age.
That record probably will never.
We'll never be. There's nobody that's trying to get that.
that's
No.
Who was the shortest person to compete in an NBA slam dunk?
Spud Webb.
oh, it is slam dunk, Spud Webb.
No, not Spud Webb.
Oh, Nate Robinson.
Boy game.
Nate Robinson.
It is actually Spud Webb. See, that's not the tricky one is,
I said Spud
I
Webb,
said.
and you said no.
well, I didn't answer at all. They just started throwing out names.
Oh, he said Spud Webb.
Let's see.
What kind of trivia is this?
Who going in. I'm just another random.
That's the right answer, but I'm going to let him keep guessing.
Okay, which Rockets player has dual citizenship? Argentine and Spanish.
Luis Scola.
Luis Scola, yeah.
On it.
Okay, this is actually a pretty good one. I don't even know the answer.
Yao Ming.
Which player in his rookie year had the most blocks in the game? It's not Wemby.
No.
The blocks in a game, a single game?
Single. Mark Eaton.
Bull, yeah.
No, you're close.
No, that's a Manute Ball.
It was
Manu
Manu
Ball.
Ball.
Was it Manu?
That's what I meant.
That dude hit. He had a game with 8 threes too.
He was letting him
shoot.
out.
Yeah.
Go rebound. He was telling him,
Right?
go rebound.
I'm tired of this.
It's going up.
Who was the? He had a teammate who told the story. Manu Ball had no idea how old he was, but he would.
He seen.
Okay.
carve lines in his head to keep track of his age.
He was like 30.
Yeah. Manu Ball.
Manute Ball.
I forget who told the story.
He
He
was
was
the
like
shortest player to ever block a Patrick Ewing shot.
Shortest player?
Shot?
Or block.
PJ Armstrong.
Huh?
Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy Bogues. He's the shortest player to play.
You remember when Nate Robinson did that?
Yeah, was it? Who was that too?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He blocked LeBron too. Remember when he blocked LeBron? That was crazy.
Got two more. We'll go two more.
What's more impressive, Nate Robinson blocking LeBron or Ben Wallace blocking Shaq?
Anybody but Shaq? Did Ben Wallace block Shaq?
Yeah, he did.
I thought
Like,
only
that was one of the
person
best
blocked.
blocks I've ever seen in my life. Those two are two of the best blocks I've ever seen in my life.
You know what? I like that Anthony Edwards block from last year. Or the year
Oh yeah.
Is he better than this shit? Sharp, football, foul, Mario West.
Oh yeah, that was a nice one too.
Like, how would you call it as a referee? Like, you should have just swung it. Yeah, like, come on, bro. Okay, this question is catered to our fans, our NBL brothers and fans, and for most people, some people don't know this. Which Muslim name was adopted by Lou Alcindor?
Lou Alcindor?
You know I'm good for fucking up a name.
We all know the answer. We all know the answer. So as I try to throw us off.
He said, see what kind of trivia is this?
Lewis.
Oh yeah.
So
I think everyone knows the answer.
Just so you know, I'm notorious for screwing up one name per episode, and since I haven't done that, and it was my last question.
DeJounte Murray. He called DeJounte Murray DeJounte. And then he started arguing with me saying that's what I said.
That's how it's pronounced. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's what I said.
Who else can do it?
Lou Alcindor.
Okay, this is the last one. This one is
Will Chamberlain.
Well, John, come on, bro. We're doing it right now. Okay.
Kobe.
Kobe. Brianna. Come on, we can sit there and do that.
Michelle Jordan.
Actually, if you go to certain countries in Europe, Michael is.
Michelle.
So yeah.
He goes.
Okay. So, which NBA player has the best free throw percentage at 90 point? What was the number?
Steve Kerr.
Nope.
Oh, Mark Price.
It was Mark Price. Yeah, it's Mark Price.
On those two.
Mark Price.
You know the crazy one? Who has the most made 3-pointers in? Well, it's not the same now, but it's Steph Curry. But what number Jason Kidd is all time on the 3-point made list?
He's like top 10.
Dang,
Top 10.
he's number 3.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
Somebody
That's crazy.
shoot the ball.
Yeah. And he started off not shooting threes too.
There's stories about him. They used to call him Asen because he had no J.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His teammates. That's crazy. And
Yeah.
he's number 3
He did.
because he developed that skill later. I got you one more.
You know what record will never be broken
Omer.
once it's over with? Omer. Stefan Curry. That record.
R&D.
Ghost Guiding.
No, man.
Guys.
But a record that will never be broken no matter what.
Yeah, it's not recording.
Just that I don't know.
The other one's going. We got sound.
Yeah.
Damn, what's the record? Hang on.
Curry.
What's his 3-point
Once
made?
he's done, once he's finished, it's now never. You don't think so?
You don't think so?
People shoot way more threes.
The game
Because he broke it so young.
Maybe.
He broke it so
I think we're done.
We're done.
But
That's okay. This is
Conversation was kind of second, so we just ended there.
all right. Like and subscribe.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
like a subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah.